After a nice day of riding yesterday, I actually ran this tire flat. You can see the plug right there. I had to plug it yesterday. I definitely need some new back tires. These things are only 4-ply, and I really need a 6-ply back tire for the way I ride. I did see some stuff with these hubs though. These are the Tusk, I think they're like 3.5-inch extender hubs. They put 3.5 inches on the entire back end, and what I noticed was they're loose. Well, the other one was too, so I just tightened it and it was fine. But this one, I noticed this. It's the spacer that it's supposed to have. Each side has a spacer that fits in this little conical part right here of the hub, and it makes it so it mates perfectly for this. Well, this thing is just not right, and there's no way, no matter how tight you get the castle nut, which I also need a new one of these. You see this thing's tore up. No matter how tight you get that, it will not, the hub is still going to be loose no matter what. The other side, if you look at it, which I've already tightened it down, but there's a flat washer and that conical spacer tapered washer, I don't know what you want to call it, in there. And you see this side doesn't wiggle at all. It's good. So I'm not sure what I'm going to have to do for that. I went to several websites that sold Tusk things, Tusk equipment, and they do not sell just that spacer and washer kit, or just those little metal pieces. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do. I emailed Rocky Mountain ATV, because when you go to the Tusk website, it seems like they're the only authorized dealer to sell Tusk equipment. So I emailed them, and hopefully they will get back to me and I can purchase one of these, because I really don't want to ride until I have that. I also did purchase a new handlebar and new set of grips, and just cheap stuff, so should be here sometime this week or next. But until then, I won't be able to really ride until I get this fixed, because this is kind of unsafe to me. And I've seen people weld the hubs to the axle, but I'm not really wanting to do that, because eventually I want to replace this axle. And when I do, I want to use these hubs still, because they're pretty decent quality and they're pretty expensive. It's like $100 for both of them. And a new axle, if I just get the standard stock axle, I can probably get one for like $100. But if I get a 2-inch extended one or something like that, it's going to be way more expensive. So I'd rather just save the money and get the standard stock size, and then use these 3.5-inch widening hubs. I think it's 1 3/4 inches on each side, which comes to 3.5 inches. So, and it looks pretty good. But I definitely need some new tires. These things have seen better days. So that's where I'm at right now on this. I was having some fuel issues, but I figured out the stock hose fuel line is an S, and it's built like an S, so it comes right out of the fuel tank and makes an S straight to the carburetor. Well, you can't buy regular fuel line to make it do that, because it'll kink. So I figured out, I got stranded twice because it wasn't getting gas, and I figured out that if I make a giant S basically with regular fuel line, which is cheap as crap, it'll work. And it worked all day yesterday. It worked fine, so that's good. I've also replaced this petcock, because this petcock was leaking. It would not, in the off position, it would not work. And the new petcock, the on position is reserve, and the off position, or the reserve position, is on. So I have it backwards now, so it works correctly. But I can't really do anything at this point. Just wait for stuff to get here, and hopefully they email me back and have those spacers, washers, whatever you want to call them. I'm not sure what they're called. But hopefully they'll get back to me and I'll be able to get them. Alright. Okay, so here's an issue I'm having with my hubs. These are the Tusk 3.5-inch hubs that extend your rear end out. So what they come with is hubs, okay, and they come with supposedly 3 hardware pieces per hub. They come with this cone or concave shaped washer with a split in it that sits right in the hub, and it basically sits flush with it. So the instructions are to take your washer, put it on, take this thing, put it on, and you take your hub, put it on, and you put another washer on, and then you tighten the castle nut on, and it stops the hub from moving around. My issue, Tusk does not sell replacements of these. So when I bought this bike, the hubs were loose. I tightened them up, they felt better. This other side, did not have these. And if it did, they wore off fast because they're not there anymore. They're gone. And so I called Tusk, which is through Rocky Mountain ATV, and the first time I talked to them, they said, oh yeah, we'll be able to send you some parts for that. I said, okay, cool. And I waited a couple days, called them again, they said, oh, it's on order, or we haven't gotten to it yet. And then 5 days went by, I called them again, and they basically said, oh, we can't sell them. In order to get these pieces, you're going to have to buy a whole new set of hubs, which I don't need. I need this freaking $1 washer right here. So I tried yesterday for a while, grinding some stuff down, some washers, trying to figure out something that could work. So I found these things, these washers. They're actually called six-pack machinery bushings, 1-inch by 14 gauge. So the gap in this original washer is 1 inch. So these new ones, fit perfectly like this other one should. I'm pretty sure, they're like almost identical to that. They're just literally the same thing. So what I'm going to do is try to use these without this piece and see if it works, which I have one side, so it should work fine for one side, but I don't have the other side. So I don't know if I should run one side and not the other or not, but I at least have one. There, it mounts to that. And then, it's a 6-pack. It came with 6 of them, so I'll be able to actually put a washer on the back, this side, which I couldn't do because I didn't have one for either hub. It didn't come with one on this 4-wheeler. So I'm going to go ahead and try to do this like that. Put this on, which this side, like I said, will have one, which is fine. And then put another one on. And then the castle nut should go on. So I think that's the process of how it should go. And then you can tighten it down, which, I do have a battery over here. I do not. There's one charging though. And see, that tightens that right up. What I'm afraid of is the other side, if it'll do the same thing without that concave, convex, whatever that's called, the cone-shaped washer in there. If it doesn't have that, I'm afraid it's not going to work. So, we're going to see. I got some new castle nuts too on order. They should be here within the next couple days. Because the other castle nut is basically trashed. That one, it's hard to see. It's right there. it's trashed. Sorry, my finger's been in the video. I didn't even realize. So, oh, and it's raining. Thankfully. We've needed rain for like weeks now. Hopefully this works. If it doesn't, I'm not sure what I'm going to do. I don't really want to fabricate one like at a machine shop. And my neighbor came over and gave me this, and I might try to drill this hole out, work on it to see if it would work, because it kind of fits inside of here pretty well. But that's my dilemma and where I'm at with it. Don't want to have to buy whole new hubs, because if I buy new hubs, I'm just going to buy a whole new axle, everything back here will be new besides the swinger. I'm not going to get a new swing arm, but all the carrier bearing, seal, everything will be brand new if I go ahead and replace the hubs, because I don't want to just do this and then not do everything else, because I'm sure this is factory, because I'm not sure if it is or not, but it'd be nice to have some new stuff. But that's where I'm at with that. I think I had some success. So if you look at these washers, well, they both are kind of cone shaped now, which I didn't mean for both of them to happen. But if you look at this one, it's more than the other. I think one of these is more than the other, but I think this might work. I put the washer on without anything like the other side to go in this rim, and I just stuck this hub on, and it basically compressed it as I tightened the nut down. So it compressed down and kind of bent that washer to where it needed to be, and I thought, oh well, maybe that'll work. So I got another washer, set it on top, and it looks like that might actually work. I mean, with it tightened, it wasn't wobbling anywhere, and it needed to be where it was. And so now I need to put a washer right here on this axle, which I have one, but I actually realized that is a 3/4 washer. I don't have one. So I'm going to take that other one off that other side and go get some 3/4. Well, not today. When I come back from work tomorrow, I'm going to get some 3/4 and try them. And then once I get a new castle nut, like I said, this one is pretty janky, and the other side, the threads are kind of messed up. So in order for me to even get it on this thing, I have to use an impact, which I don't really want to do that too many times because I don't want to mess the threads up on the axle. So I'm probably going to quit for today trying to get that on there. But it works pretty good from what I can tell. And I'm going to just go ahead and go from there and see how it goes.